summer of 1995, El Yunque National Forest, a 28,000-acre rainforest in eastern Puerto Rico, was a realm of unrelenting humidity and shadowed trails, its dense canopy dripping with rain, and rugged peaks shrouded in mist, made it a haven for smugglers and a crucible for military operations. The forest's Taino inhabitants had long spoken of the chupacabra, blood-drinking beast with reptilian spines and glowing eyes born of the island's primal wrath. Said to drain livestock and stalk the unwary, the creature was a specter of fear, its hiss a warning to respect the land. Misty Wilderness Step Sergeant Maria Ortiz, 34-year-old U.S. Army National Guard member from San Juan, a seasoned soldier and skeptic. Maria was driven by duty and a need to prove herself in a male-dominated unit deployed for a joint U.S.-Puerto Rican drug interdiction operation in El Yunque. She was about to confront a force that defied her rationality and training. Maria's journey to El Yunque was a mission of vigilance. She arrived at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in June 1995, the Caribbean heat oppressive, the forest green wall looming beyond the base, the operation codenamed Operation Green Shield. Maria's journey to El Yunque was a mission of vigilance. She arrived at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in June 1995, the Caribbean heat oppressive, the forest green wall looming beyond the base, the operation codenamed Operation Green Shield. Her briefing in a sweltering base tent was led by Major Thomas Reed, a gruff Texan with a knack for counter-narcotics. He outlined the patrol, trek the El Toro Trail, sweep for stash sites, and signal via radio. Watch for snakes, not fairy tales. He snapped, but his eyes lingered on the map, where a red X marked an old Taino ritual site. Maria nodded, her M16 slung, her pack heavy with gear night vision goggles, radio, machete, first aid kit. The team's chatter tales of the chupacabra, a beast that drained blood stirred unease. But Maria's pragmatism, honed in urban drills, dismissed them as folklore. That first day, Maria's team privates Diaz, Rivera Torres, Sergeant Morales, and Specialist Chen entered El Yunque, their boots sinking into mud, their ponchos slick with rain. The rainforest loomed, its ferns towering, its silence broken by the drip of water and the screech of coqui frogs. Maria's pride in her rank, earned through grit, anchored her, but the forest's humidity gnawed, its canopy too dense, its shadows too alive. First for days were a grind of heat and tension. Maria's team patrolled the El Toro Trail, their machetes hacking pines, their faces slick with sweat. They swept clearings, finding abandoned camps, plastic tarps, cigarette butts, but no smugglers. The forest swallowing evidence. The rainforest was a labyrinth of roots and streams, the air thick with the scent of wood, earth, and decay. They camped in muddy hollows, their fires weak, their radios crackling with static. Strange signs emerged, goat carcasses, drain of blood, their throats torn, claw marks on palms. Too large for jaguars, Private Diaz, a nervous rookie, grew jumpy, his eyes scanning the canopy. Off duty, the team shared stories by the fire. Diaz, a Luquillo native, spoke of the chupacabra. A creature his abuela feared. It's not a dog, it's a demon, he said, his voice low. Maria rolled her eyes, her skepticism sharp. But her team's unease grew. Private Rivera swore he heard hisses at night. Private Torres found clawed horn feathers, and Specialist Chen, the team's tech, noted radio glitches, bursts of Taino chants. Sergeant Morales, a devout Catholic, clutched a rosary, his humor fading. Maria noted the tales in her log, her rationality unshaken, but the forest's silence felt predatory, its reign a constant whisper. By day 5, exhaustion and humidity frayed nerves. The team's rations, MREs, and granola ran low, their tempers short. Diaz reported a guttural hiss at dusk, faint but close, like a snake but human. Maria dismissed it as wildlife, but her own sleep grew troubled dreams of her grandmother warning of La Bestia in the dark. Her pride in leading, a badge of her Puerto Rican resilience, felt heavier, a duty tied to a forest that seemed to watch. On the night of June 12, 1995, a torrential rain swept through El Yunque. Canopy a dripping shroud, the trails a river of mud. Maria's team camped near the Taino ritual site, a clearing ringed by mossy stones, their tent lashed to palms, their fire drowned by the storm. Maria's patrol, a solo sweep to check for tracks, began at midnight, her M16 slung. her night vision goggles glowing green, her radio crackling with static. The air was suffocating, the scent of rot and wet leaves thick. The silence broken only by the rain's roar and the squelch of her boots. Her machete tucked in her belt was a quiet comfort, its weight grounding her against the dark. The clearing loomed, its stone shrouded, its air heavy with decay. Maria checked her radio. Calling in Ortiz, checkpoint 3, all clear. The static roared, her team's voices faint, drowned by a low, guttural hiss like a rattlesnake but deeper. Her pulse quickened, her goggles sweeping the trail, the green haze catching nothing but rain. The hiss grew louder, layered with scratches, a chorus of claws on bark vibrating through the mud. Her radio crackled, now clear with Tano Gents, Yaku, Protogenos, not Reed, not her team. Maria called out, "This is National Guard." Identified herself. Her voice was lost in the storm, but the hiss intensified, a chilling pulse that pressed against her skull. Maria stopped, her M16 raised, her goggles flickering. The rainforest darkened. The rain a deafening trap, the palms bending inward. The hiss became a scream, a guttural wail that stabbed her ears, the ground quaking, mud swirling like a vortex. Through the rain, a figure emerged, dog-sized, reptilian, its spines glinting, its eyes glowing green, tearing at a goat's corpse, its head snapped up, its scream a blade, and it lunged, claws scraping the earth faster than any animal. Maria's breath caught, her machete trembling, her voice a whisper, "Dios mío." Chupacabra's eyes seared, voids that drew her gaze, filling her with dread. The air grew colder, the humidity plunging, her breath fogging despite the heat. Shadows darted in the dark, more figures, smaller but identical, their claws scraping bark. Their hisses a chorus of rage. They chanted Sangre, Anit, their voices a grinding dirge. Accusing. "You forgot us." The mud thickened, forming shapes, claws, eyes, their voids hollow, their mouths open in silent screams. The forest pulsed, the palms creaking, their fronds clawing, the ground rippling as if alive, cold. Scaled claws sharp, dripping with blood grabbed her boots, their touch like frozen razors, tugging her toward the clearing center. Her radio screamed, the static now a cacophony of Spanish and Tano chants. Drowning her team's calls, her mind flooded with visions, 1990s farms, livestock drained, Tano rituals burning in the night, their screams soaking the earth. The visions weren't hers, but they felt real, as if the forest was forcing her to see its wrath. The chupacabra shifted, its form blurring a child with her cousin's face, priest with her abuela's voice, then back to its spine horror, each change a stab in her heart. It hissed, "Join us," its voice now her own, mocking her skepticism. The shadowed figures closed in, their claws raised, their dirge a knife in her skull. Maria's scream caught in her throat, her body paralyzed by a terror she'd never known, not in urban patrols, not in San Juan's roughest streets, not anywhere. The chupacabras has morphed her abuela's prayers, her cousin's laugh, her own screams each call drawing her toward the clearing's edge, where the mud seemed to swallow light, the hisses layered, a choir of the damned chanting her sins, ignoring her heritage, doubting the forest's power. Cold claws raked her arm, leaving bloody scratches, no source in the mud, her skin bore welts, raw and green tinged, despite her poncho, as if the chupacabras touched poison flesh. Her machete burned, its handle searing her palm, a betrayal of her control. The forest warped, the palms twisted into humanoid shapes, their fronds forming faces that hissed. The mud pulsed, forming claw prints that circled her, then vanished, the stars above dimmed, the sky a black void, as if the chupacabra consumed light itself. Visions flooded her mind, not just drained livestock, but her own failures, abandoning her Tano roots, failing her team, surviving while farms perished. The chupacabra's eyes projected her face, bloodless and hollow, accusing her of ignorance she hadn't faced yet. Maria's instinct snapped her free, a desperate curse breaking the spell. She fired her M16 short bursts, the muzzle flash blinding, the bullets sinking into the mud, leaving no mark on the chupacabra. The figure didn't falter, its scream unrelenting, the claws tightening, their grip searing her skin. Her radio screamed, "Sangre, Anit," drowning her cries for help. She stumbled back, wrenching free, her boots slipping, and ran, the storm chasing her. The chupacabras hiss a blade in her ears. Maria sprinted through the rainforest, the palms a green wall, the mud sucking at her boots, the rain roaring like a beast. The dirge followed, a relentless chant. The shadowed figure scuttled closing in, the mud's claws clawing at her poncho. She glanced back, her heart stopping. The chupacabra stood in the rain, its spines glinting, its eyes green, the figure's voids darting through the dark. The palms swayed, fronds snapping, claws frosting her poncho, leaving streaks of blood. Maria prayed aloud. Santa Maria, her Spanish raw, but the hiss drowned her words, its Taino cadence a curse. Camp's firelight, faint through the storm, signaled her team's position. Private Diaz's voice crackled through the radio, faint but sharp. "Ortiz, where are you?" The light jolted Maria, and she ran toward it, the palms fading, the mud a black sea. The hiss faltered, the claws retreating, but the scream lingered, a grinding echo. She reached the camp, collapsing in the mud, her M16 clattering, her breath ragged. Diaz, Rivera, Torres, Morales, and Chin leapt from the tent, their faces pale, their rifles raised, scanning the rain. Dawn broke over El Yunque, pale and hazy, the palms silent but charged with unease. Maria sat by the fire, her hands trembling, her coffee untouched. Her poncho was torn, jagged ribs at the arm. No source in the mud, her arm bore scratches, raw and green-tinged, despite no contact. Diaz, shaken, admitted hearing hisses all week, his Luquilla roots now a warning. Rivera clutched across, whispering about his Diaz tales of spirits. Torres, the team skeptic, grew quiet, his eyes scanning the canopy. Morales, the devout, prayed silently, his rosary tight. Chin, the tech, checked the radio, finding Taino chants unexplainable. Reed demanded a report, his gruffness hiding fear. No monsters, Ortiz. Right at his fatigue, but his eyes avoided the ritual site's direction. Maria searched the clearing at first light, her M16 slung, her heart pounding. The mud was unmarked, no tracks, no claws, only the palm's endless drip, now sinister like a laugh. She found her bullets embedded in a palm, their tips wet, coated with a film like blood. Diaz's tale echoed, his warning of La Bestia, a weight she couldn't shake. The team grew quiet, their patrols doubled, their flashlights brighter, avoiding the old ritual site. Maria's pragmatism, once a rock, wavered. She slept fitfully. The hiss echoing Sangre, Anit, the chupacabra's eyes haunting her dreams, visions of drained farms. Burning rituals, her own face among the dead, accusing her of doubt. Her duty to the guard felt tainted, the forest a wound she'd reopened, her poncho repaired. Still bore faint ribs, like scars, a reminder of the claws that grabbed her. Maria requested a transfer a week later, unable to face the rainforest. Reed approved it, his sternness soft, as if relieved. Diaz drove her to Roosevelt Roads, the palms stretching endless, rain glinting like eyes, her radio off crackled once, hissing Maria. She didn't look back, afraid of what she'd see. In San Juan, she tried to resume her life, taking a desk job, avoiding jungle talk. But El Yunque clung to her, a shadow that darkened her days. She couldn't sleep without hearing the hiss, couldn't cross wet streets without feeling those scaled claws. Her dreams were haunted by the chupacabra, its eyes green, its dirge echoing Sangre, Anit. Maria stopped visiting her abuela, fearing her tales would summon the hiss. She kept her machete locked away, its way to curse and burn her patrol log, hoping to sever the link. Sometimes, at night, she saw eyes green glowing in her apartment's corners. She never looked, afraid of what she'd see, but the chupacabra's spines lingered, a stain that wouldn't fade. Diaz sent Maria a photo from a patrol, the El Toro trail in the background. In one corner, a faint, blurry shape stood, a spine figure, eyes green, surrounded by darting forms. The photo was streaked with mud, as if dredged from the rainforest. Maria burned it, her hands trembling, but the hiss lingered, a reminder that El Yunque's wrath was never truly gone.